So good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another scene, god damn it, Max, for Edessa, the Dark Crusade, wherein lovely little Mina is taking herself on a nice little walk through through the what is it, the marketplace? Whichever part of the market that Gufran's shop is in, because well, we got some shit to do. So she will be coming by Gufran's shop, just sashaying on in there, and she will actually, bless her little heart, is dressed like people today. She's not in her riverside wear, as it were. She's actually dressed at don't want to be competing. So just kind of a classic merchant level wear, decent fabric, nothing ostentatious. Um, but she's put together. She's still definitely herself. She's still got a little too much fidgeting and motion going on. Very, very normal for Mina, but she actually looks put together. And she will just sashay on into Gufran's shop, taking a look around for the man himself.
Gofran has just wrapped up another successful carpet sale by banging on the table, demanding 10 silver coins, and be like, "Yo, this is worth our shit." Um, and after the man packs up his carpets and some of the pillows, excellent pillows, wonderful pillows, Johanna, they are wonderful pillows. Um, Gufran will turn and look towards Mina as she grabs his attention. Will smirk a little bit, saunter on over, and says, "Mina, how radiant of you to visit me during these dark hours. Whatever can I do for you?"
And of course, the second that eye contact is made, she just, her smile just grows ever so wide because, for one, she's looking to catch his eye and his attention, but for the other, well, she knows what's coming, and he does not for a moment disappoint. And she flutters a bit, picks up a hand, covers her mouth as though just embarrassed by this compliment. She's obviously playing, but the smile and the glitter in her eyes says she's having a good time of it. And she will be like, "Oh, Gufran, you are always too kind. I thought perhaps you might have the time to have a word with me offside."
For you, my dear, I always do. Follow me, please. And saunters on over towards the door, towards the back room, and opens it for her, gesturing her inside.
Oh, and she will just be ever so just taken with his mannerism and will sashay in there and go about finding herself a seat. In one of those nice, convenient little places where they can sit face to face and have themselves a nice little chat. One of these couches or whatever have you. For all I know, there's
Gufran
just
will lay
piles of lush
himself.
pillows.
Gufran will lay himself down on one of the Roman-style couches, just like, ah, yes.
She, in fact, does have a good little giggle. Even at that, she does enjoy his over the top levels. They're just, he cranks that shit to 11. So she will be in a fine mood. Fingers just kind of idly playing with each other, just fidgety. As she offers a broad smile. "Dear Gufran, I have something I mean to accomplish. And I happen to have heard, to know, in fact, on something of a personal level, that you have a particular skill set that would be ever so useful."
A skill set, you say?
"I do."
Hmm. And what skill set should be referring to that I have acquired of my a very long career?
And she kind of sweeps her hands out and takes, the little bow of the head. "Well, you are a man of the people."
Of course. He just says like, yes, totes, my goats.
And the
Wow.
people do seem to be ever so distressed lately.
They do, yes. Worrisome amounts.
Does make it hard to find a bite to eat with everyone staying indoors.
Curfews and everything with it. It was so very difficult. Do you have a plan to go against it?
I do. It is simple in a way, but with the right words in the right ears, it might be just compelling enough to make people feel a little more comfortable outside.
Do share, for I am all ears and very willing to help our fair city of Edessa.
I thought it might perhaps be to our mutual benefit. Well, everyone's mutual benefit, I suppose. Well, I have done some handiwork in Riverside, and I find that there are just ever so many more people out and about, more willing to be seen, more willing to walk the streets as a result. And I thought to myself, my, wouldn't it be ever so lovely if I got my hands on some more dogs? Got my hands on some willing volunteers and set to seeing that my work was done about the city as a whole. And while maybe they know me a bit in Riverside, uh, well, there's the simple fact that I am not well known to the city, and my work might not be. But perhaps if it was pointed out to the common folk that the city was clearly taking care of itself, clearing the streets of this threat of plague, if enough attention was called to it, I will do the work of my own expense. All I ask is that you call the right attention to the work being done, so that people will see and feel safe, feel secure. I may even speak to Irene as well to make sure eyes are on the work from every level of society.
And what exactly is the work that you speak of? What work have you done to make Riverside safe? What work is there to speak of?
Oh, well, haven't you heard? Alonzo is, after all, the chief ratter of Edessa.
Ah, Alonso, yes. The illustrious dog of heroism.
Isn't he, though? He cuts such a majestic figure. So noble. So
So noble.
hardworking.
I would say he deserves one of my pillows. I would sell one to you for a reduced price.
Oh. Just a little, the hand comes up to her just like, oh, scandalous. Oh, I may have to take you up on it. But in the meantime, I find that I'm finally in a place where I can afford to expand my business. And while in this case, I'm not in it for the money, I'm in it for the results. The results won't be there if it's not noticed.
The
With
results won't be there as there's no one left alive to see it.
just so, it has worked fairly well in Riverside. The quarter was still badly hit. There are still more rats there than anywhere else I saw in the city. So there has still been quite the death toll. But at least those that remain are not practically the walking dead. They have some life in their eyes again. They go to the market now. They go to the taverns again, and there is music to be heard. Perhaps if we can make enough of a dent, which I think we can, I'm good with the dogs. I think I can get the manpower, but without the attention called to it, it is very easy to overlook the lowliest members and the lowliest jobs in a city.
Mm-hmm. I know this very well.
And for once, I don't want it overlooked.
True lady of the people.
Hmm?
Have you visited the Arab slums with your business?
Not yet, but I mean to. I mean to get a hold of enough dogs, enough willing
Yes.
hands.
Don't Gangrel and the Nosferatu and perhaps the Zemisi have greater control over animals?
I
Perhaps they
imagine
could
they
aid
do.
you in your conquest for dogs.
It's possible, but I imagine if I owe too many more favors, dear Gregory will outright disown me. I can't have that.
Oh dear. No, no, no.
And it's a shame most people just don't appreciate the glint of good coin the way you do.
How much coin do you make with these?
With all of my recent work, I have put away a handy nest egg and have a pretty reasonable income. And I'm trying to add a game at at what point in resources are you at certain levels? Imagine I think 2 was like merchant level, 3 is like high merchant.
Yeah.
So yeah, she will play with her hands a bit as though playing it being evasive, but all the same, just kind of innocently, I probably make as good as a very practiced, specialized merchant might.
There's I wouldn't say that the devil laughs at you, but there's definitely kind of a smirk like that on his face.
Oh, she
Um,
imagines that Gufron still makes hand over fist more than she does. But she's definitely like doing that. It's framed to be the innocent peek through her lashes, but I'm not rolling subterfuge. She's definitely looking to see his reaction. And she almost
uh,
looks just a touch expectant.
hmm, it's a very large amount of money. Just one dog.
Isn't it
Imagine what you
just?
could do with 10, 25.
Perhaps. Once I have them. Once the initial work is done. But truth be told, money is well and good, but I like to be able to eat.
The
And it gets
exposure.
harder and harder each night.
Yes, 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 yes.
As I said,
The
it
plague, disease, the rats, and now the hunters are all coming in together.
matters.
Oh, you haven't heard?
Oh no. I've been quite out of this gossip circle, and she kind of gets herself all comfy and leaned forward like story time.
Oh, well, my dear Mina, several neonates have gone missing as of late. Even some of the ancillae have not been heard from.
Is that so?
Yes, dreadful,
Dreadful indeed.
dreadful. We're actually planning, my own coterie is planning on launching a little, well, counter-strike for the wealth of the city, of course,
Of
against these
course.
hunters. You know, it will be in a neonate party.
Oh, I do like parties.
Yes. Little word of advice. Do watch over your shoulder when you are out and about. Gold hunters are not amateurs.
Gould. That sounds like cheating.
Oh, it is. So is.
That is
Ugh,
just
a
poorly sporting of
hardship.
them.
A hardship we must face these nights, but oh well. When it comes to the safety of the city, there's so much we must do to keep it. And this plague is, well, as you said, annoying.
It is. I'd say we have almost grown to the point of agitating.
What you seek from me is exposure, correct?
For what it
Exposure
is
to the
worth,
public,
I don't
exposure to make
want,
your deals well known.
for what it is worth, whether you credit it back to me or not is not important. I just want attention called to the fact that the city is being made clean. I want them to feel safe and I want them to come out. This isn't about promoting my business, it will promote itself. But I want the people to come out.
Advise you get more dogs.
Oh, I shall.
Excellent.
As many as a pretty penny can buy. And I seem to find myself at an excess of eager hands that I'm sure would be ever so happy to help make the city safe after all they've lost.
Well, sadly, I am no animal person, but I am more than willing to assist you in other ways, for a slight price, of course.
Of course.
25% of your earnings.
What was it?
And 25% of your earnings. And a trivia boon.
And what is the going price of information these days? Because I feel while I've missed out on some things, perhaps you have too. It occurs to me
Oh,
that not everyone murmurs to neonates. But I have
that
been in
depends on what
such.
the information is.
Do you know about the tactician, Gufrelin?
The tactician.
Oh, yes.
What is this tactician you speak of, Mina?
Oh, he is a creature of some power and some influence. And some considerable threat to our fine city and those of us inside it. Now, I'd be happy to tell you much of what I know about him in exchange for this exposure that I need so much.
Tell you what, the sharing of information is generally considered a trivial boon. So, I believe that Gregory owes me a minor boon thanks to your actions. So if you were to share this information with me, I'd be more than happy to reduce the minor boon to a trivial boon.
I dare say that with as much as I know, it should be worth a minor boon. I have
Truly,
heard lovely things. I have heard things from the source.
the source.
Yes, indeed.
Well, I'm afraid that as long as I don't know what you speak of, I can't be an accurate judge of how much this information is worth.
Oh, now you're just being no fun.
Oh,
Well, fun for you.
I was about to say, my dearest lady, I'm always fun. My fun just comes at the expense of others.
That's not very nice at all, is it?
I dare say it is not.
But fun is
But
rarely nice. So be it.
so is unlife.
Well then, why don't I tell you a story? I have heard. Perhaps when the plague began, they started talking about the tactician. A voice who spoke to many as the rats were unleashed on the city. And they call him this because he says such things as, a tactician always has a plan of battle. A good tactician does this. A good tactician does that. Now, this man has spoke to me. I know he's not one of my voices. He talks far too much. A shame that most people don't listen to. A little fledgling Malkavian. So hard to be believed. But he has told me a number of things. I believe he calls himself Demise. And he spoke of the Wishing Woman. And I did hear there was some very compelling graffiti in the Prophet's Quarter after the rats swept through, eating everyone and everything in sight. Now, this tactician, I can tell you that he sounds old, very old, and he is very, very sure of himself. And he seemed to think that I was quite the child for not knowing his name, for not knowing Demise, for not knowing the Wishing Woman. But it's funny, I've spoken to a number of Ancilla in the city, and none of them recognize the names either. They have heard of the Wishing Woman, they have seen what was written, but none have heard of Demise. Now, here's the interesting part is that he spoke, I think, back when the rats first came. But he spoke to me when they took Prophet's Quarter. He knew everything that was going on in the quarter. He told me about the fires. He told me about the rats. Well, not in so many words, but perhaps suggested that some would be safer on rooftops. He spoke as if he knew the city. He spoke as if he knew all that was happening as it was happening. It was as if he could see. And not just through my eyes, like you might assume. It was as if he was very intimately familiar, even with such things as the inside of buildings, what they were constructed with. He knew who people were and where they were. He gave a great deal of detail, but would never tell me his name, not till the end. And when he was finally done speaking to me, he told me to tell the city that Demise was coming, that the Wishing Woman was coming, or not the Wishing, yes, the Wishing Woman was coming. And he said these things again. A great tactician would have a plan. A great tactician would know that a plan never survives the first brush with the battlefield. He's watching. And he said that he wishes to have the city. He said that I should warn the prince that he was coming. Though I don't think I shall. I feel that walking affront the prince and offering the threat of doom would not be beneficial to me in a very real way. But no, there is something very old. And I dare say that no matter how much people murmur about the Nosferatu in the sewers, I don't think it was them that caused the wave of rats.
No,
I think it
this
was him.
is a move far too obvious to be one of Nosferatu origin.
I think, if anything, it was a very, very well executed frame job. If one doesn't pause to think about the fact that no sensible canite would do something so blatantly self implicating.
Exactly. So, we have an ancient walking up to the city, giving prophets of destruction, prophecies of destruction, and claiming he wants it. And he wanted the Lady of Wrath. Wasn't that shouted?
I hear that it was written in the Prophet's Quarter.
Ah, it
They
was
mentioned
written.
that it was written in blood on the walls after the rats finally ebbed away back into
Of
the
course.
sewers.
But these nights, every ominous declaration is written in blood on walls, and it gets boring.
It is not quite as showy as one could have hoped for.
What about crayons? Can't we just take some wood and just carve it out of it and then hammer that on the walls? That's original. But no, it has to be blood. Ugh.
It does, doesn't it? And one has to wonder how they got written there. I imagine rats aren't very good at writing. Makes one wonder what else he can control to make this happen. Is she just grinning away?
So, intricate story. Very interesting. The bringer of the plague, you say?
I think so. I'm fairly convinced.
Have you told this with others? You shared it with Severa and Silai.
I shared it with my brother. Albeit not until very lately.
Hmm. I take it your brother is some Ancillai then. Of course, he's such a personality that he is multiple people.
Oh, I am sure that he has told others. I spoke to. I asked Madeline and Johanna if they knew the names. They did not. I did not give them all the details. Arnott seemed very agitated with me for sharing it to a group before I shared it with him. So the names were all I gave. But I have heard about this tactician before.
Have you?
Oh, they've murmured. Garnet's murmured.
Would there be a roll that I can make to know this shit? You think?
Hmm?
Would there be a roll that I could make to know this shit, or probably not?
I assume that it's among the PCs who've been talking it. It's just that Mina's been surrounded by the right people.
Ah, gotcha.
I don't think it is a common knowledge thing that's been murmured about. Those you would certainly know about the graffiti in Prophet's Quarter, the fact that it was the Whispering Woman demanding, or not Whispering, the Wishing Woman demanding the Lady of Wrath.
God damn it, Lady of Wrath.
I don't know shit about the
Why?
Lady of Wrath.
Apparently a high does.
Oh.
Oh. Oh.
Such interesting times we live in. Oh, and you should see the lovely creature I came across while I was out hunting one night. I haven't had a chance to pass it off, not yet. I do think that Lenora will be very pleased with my find.
And what would your find be?
Oh, a rat. She kind of nods dismissively. A rat. About the size of Alonzo. With great bone spurs sticking out of
Ugh,
its body, foam in its mouth.
disgusting.
Nasty thing.
Yeah.
My mentor was so
Should
kind as to make me a rod to defend myself with. I smacked it so hard it bounced off the wall and it only stunned it, long enough for me to throw it in a trunk.
yeah. Should put it in a box and ask people for money to look at it.
Oh, I thought about it. It would have been delightful. Nobody's taken me up on it yet.
Such a tragedy. Perhaps this rat could have been one of the first plague bringers.
It's very possible. I imagine it will give a great deal of insight once it is poked and prodded enough.
And rats, a late, a wishing lady, the tactician, the demise, the hunters. Ah. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. See, here's the thing that I've been pondering as of late, my dearest Mina. There is so much going on, and yet there's so much silence. Aside from a few select individuals, I would think that the Assamites, being judges among the judges, would throw themselves at these problems, and especially the Salubri, but haven't heard a word. Haven't even heard a whisper their activities.
I do imagine that whispers often come your way when they're to be had.
No, apparently I'm deaf.
What a shame. It does seem
Truly.
we've all had our own distractions, which I imagine is just part of the game. I feel as though this demise is playing chess with us, but nobody can see the board but him.
Hmm. Consider your minor boon repaid.
You are too generous.
The trivia boon and the 25% will stay, however. That's my price for participating in your project. A very generous price.
A trivial boon and 25% of my ratting take, so be it.
Excellent.
Ever so happily.
Demise. Demise. Oh, demise.
I don't know what libraries you have access to, or what Ancilla might listen to your words. But he seems to
Oh,
expect known.
none.
There is someone in
And
this city who knows who he is.
when Gufran says none, it's clearly just like, yes, I have people. Ha ha ha!
I don't know who it is. I thought for sure, if anyone would remember, perhaps Madeline. But no.
Remember? Are you saying that Demise has been in the city before?
When he spoke, when he gave his name so proudly, and I might have been Just a little excited, a little energetic. Made a comment or two about how that was hardly a proper name to go bringing to courts and princes. And he called me a child, said I should, how could I know any better? He thinks he should be known. There is someone in this city that he believes knows who he is. But who is a very good question. And he was right about everything else he told me.
Someone convinced of his own ego. Could be me.
Oh, he wasn't nearly as fun to talk to as you are.
Oh, oh, my heart. Such a compliment.
Fun
Oh
is so
dear.
important to me. And you are delightful. She just, the grin is fit to split her face. Her eyes are glittering. She means it.
Ufron will just lick his teeth when she says it.
Oh, she loves it.
And she might catch as the glimpse of his eyes change, his irises change into slits for a moment, and then just return to normal. As the compliment truly, it brought something to life in him.
Ooh. Oh, she likes
Ooh.
that. She actually perks
Ooh.
up in very real interest, especially as his eyes flicker.
Such a lovely, lovely lady. Such lovely, lovely words. Oh dear. I will do, Lady Mina, my utmost to make sure you are getting the attention you so certainly deserve.
Oh, the expression shifts that tiniest bit. That tiniest bit that just kind of wordlessly indicates that she knows just how damning a thing that could be as a phrase. The wording, she didn't miss it. Oh, will you?
Yes, of course. After all, I've been paid. Business is business.
It
Here's
is
to
indeed.
future victories.
Here's indeed. Perhaps I should celebrate by taking you up on that offer of a pillow.
Ah, you're at the right place, he says as he stands up. Follow me, Lady Mina. I have wonderful pillows, and for you, just for you, I shall knock them down to merely 3 pieces of silver. Merely 3.
Oh, so generous. Then yes, she will sweep up dramatically from her seated position and follow along as if just carried by the breeze he leaves in his passing, like so many dead leaves just drawn along helplessly in his wake. I should have been clicked on you for all of that. Damn it.
Behold. I have one here embroidered with silk. I have one here made beautiful by these spring colors. Oh, this one. As he just goes around.
Oh, she will play along and be like, "Oh, well, what do you think would compliment his coat just so?" and blah 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 blah, and just let him ham it the fuck up. on and in a way, knowing what it's for and that he's still generously selling, we'll play along. And in the end, in a way, he essentially picks the pillow for her because it's just fun to watch him work. And in the end, well, Alonzo won't care what color it is, but well, it must
Exactly.
be ever so flattering.
Ever so flattering. Oh boy. I'm more than happy to call it a scene there.
Yes, yes. Indeed. And with that, I think we'll call it. So thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we will see you next time in Edessa Dark Crusade.